Hello
Matthew
again.
Goode, welcome to LOVEFiLM. How are you?
I'm very well. I do love film and I'm very glad to be here.
Good. So, Bridesheads Revisited is undeniably a classic novel, burned into the UK psyche. Were you nervous about taking on the role of Charles?
I really was, actually. You know, I think for many reasons. I mean, it's such a beloved novel, as you said, and obviously there has been a very, very important TV series done of it, and it's sort of the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about, and so yeah, that comes with a slight pressure, and particularly is the fact we were also filming in the same house, which I think is kind of amazing actually, because it's truly synonymous with Castle Howard.
Beautiful
now.
location, it's breathtaking.
Amazing.
And how do you feel about Charles? Because I think I read that you felt quite unsympathetic about him when you first read the script. Or is that coming back to bite you?
Yeah, I didn't like him, actually. I think that's because a script as always is different from the book. I mean, obviously in the book he's the narrator and it's this sort of future voice which sort of looks back, and it's far easier to be sympathetic with someone who's explaining their motives and things. But when you read the script, all that's gone away, and so you're like, God, he's a bit oblique, isn't he? He doesn't really say that much, and he's not really a catalyst to any scene, apart from via his presence. He's not particularly front foot, which is so that's a challenge, and but I found myself being incredibly sympathetic with him by the end. Really, I mean, I thought that. I think a lot of people, because it is deeply ambiguous, I think a lot of people see him as this, hugely social climbing, ambitious mofo.
And there's a couple of things I think you've been quite generous with the script. They've changed a few points, and one of them being that Julia goes to Venice, and it kind of puts more emphasis on sort of the love triangle. Do you think that was important this time around?
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, particularly the impurists will and fairly rightly in my eyes as well, they'll be a bit uppity about it, because it does really change the nature of the relationship of Charles and Sebastian at that point. It certainly makes him, doesn't do my sympathetic Charles any favours, really, because it makes him look like he doesn't care about Sebastian's feelings at all at that point.
I kind of disagree, actually. I think he's just confused, to be
honest.
Well,
nothing's black and white in this, really, so...
We ask everyone this, to name...
These are my own balls, yes.
Yes. To name 2 or 3 of their favourite films and the reasons for it. Or films that have inspired you, perhaps.
Oh, that's a good one. English films, let's go with then. Powell Pressburger once, It's a Matter of Life and Death.
Why?
David Niven, because it inspired me to read The Moon's a Balloon and then realise that Trubshaw in the film was Trubshaw in real life, his best mate. I've always loved that, really. Father Goose with Cary Grant, just because it was one of the first films I ever saw, and it still makes me laugh, because he's this guy who's got tiny orphans running around with his whiskey. And Shadowlands, I suppose, is a great film.
Matthew Goode, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.